He's a pure savage.
He doesn't care about any of that noise. He thrives on it and wants the mayhem to unfold exactly as it is.
That's also why he was so good at fighting, man. In the middle of the Jose Aldo fight, I remember looking in his eyes and watching how calm, like genuinely calm he was. I'm like, this guy just, and Dana said it best, he's like, he eats pressure. He just eats it.
He enjoys the chaos and actively seeks it out. That's just how he operates, even if others don't quite grasp it.
It is interesting that in the time where that low calf kick is coming to prominence, and, you know, this is also the time when Conor started moving away from the sport, took time off, fought boxing, you know, then came back and had the fight with Khabib, and then came back and had the fight with Cowboy. The calf kick was never in play in any of his fights. But if you look at him stylistically, and this is one of the things, I love DC's detail that he does on ESPN. It's amazing. But when he broke down Conor's heavy weight on the right leg, he leans in like this all the time. It's such a big weapon.
And sometimes he, like you said, that wide stance as well. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to check the kick from that wide stance.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's a crazy stance for everything other than calf kicks. It's a great stance. Yeah. I mean, he's so good at moving in and covering distance with that stance.
As of right here, right now, Gaethje McGregor is still on the table. And I think that should be pulled. I do not believe that Conor should walk into a title fight, but moreover, I will tell you, and Conor will too, he's not going to 155. Now, the promotion does not yet have that through their head. They are still pushing for Conor and 155. This is all extremely accurate information. So, I think there's a lot of options for McGregor. I really think that if it's not him versus Chandler, it should be. We really should look at that. We fans were promised a certain fight. We fans have been pretty damn patient.
As the White House card approaches, Conor McGregor's presence looms large over every conversation in the sport. Call-outs multiply. Fighters position themselves, and analysts remain split on what this unprecedented event will deliver. One certainty emerges through all the uncertainty. When those bright lights hit, McGregor will command center stage. Everything else becomes pure speculation, potential opportunities, and pandemonium ready to explode.
It depends you fight with who. If you're gonna fight with Cowboy Cerrone, you're gonna look good. You're gonna be like lion. But if you're gonna fight like guys who on the top, who really best in the world, like Dustin Poirier, like this fight gonna show your level. You know, okay, fight with Cowboy or like these fights, be lion and that's it, make money. This is smart. But if you want to become champion, if you want to fight like Beneil, Islam, Charles, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, these guys lions, you know. These guys gonna show your level.
While uncertainty clouds the details, one name continues pulling everyone into its gravitational field. Despite Conor McGregor's overwhelming presence casting shadows over the White House card, Mauricio Ruffy refused to step aside. When questioned about future possibilities, Ruffy dove headfirst into the McGregor storm. Word spread that Conor seeks a dangerous striker who brings fireworks instead of playing it safe. Ruffy positioned himself as exactly that fighter, offering his services without making demands. He demonstrated complete readiness for the spotlight while letting the UFC decide his fate, if McGregor wants pure entertainment value in his next bout.
What's next, Mauricio?
O que é o próximo? O que é o que vem agora para você?
Eu pedi Perry Pimblett na Casa Branca, talvez Conor McGregor tá querendo lutar também. Eu vi na internet rumores que ele acha melhor lutar contra mim, que sou um bom striker e que vai dar show pra galera, do que contra o Michael Chandler, que vem só de derrotas. E eu tô aqui, eu sou trabalhador do UFC, o que o UFC colocar, eu tô pronto.
Yeah, I work for UFC, but of course I want to fight on White House, maybe with Perry Pimblett or maybe Conor. I saw something about Conor saying that it's good to fight with me than Michael Chandler. So yeah, but I'm a UFC, so whatever.
This bold confidence isn't limited to hungry up-and-comers alone. Even established champions start calculating possibilities when McGregor's name surfaces. Ilia Topuria spoke without hesitation about the opportunity. Turning down a McGregor fight simply doesn't compute as a logical decision. The motivation isn't competitive glory, but sheer magnitude. Fighting Conor means stepping into history, basking in massive spotlight, and earning life-changing money that transforms entire careers. Taparia confirmed his availability should that phone call arrive. Here's what's remarkable about it all.
About Conor is like still, even though he might not be the best fighter in the world right now, he's the golden goose.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
The situation is absolutely wild, but Joe Rogan crystallizes the ongoing demand for Conor perfectly. Despite questions about McGregor's current fighting status, his star power remains completely intact. His position atop skill rankings may have shifted, but his ability to capture attention surpasses every other competitor in the sport while guaranteeing massive viewership numbers. This magnetic attraction stays rare in an era where celebrities rise and fall rapidly, explaining exactly why White House card conversations keep circling back to him.
Go to see him, you know? It just...
That would be a great one. But what excites me more is the fight with Patty.
Really?
Yeah, that fight excites me even more. And if they could put that fight in Spain...
Rogan expanded on why McGregor's impact extends far beyond simple win-loss records. Working alongside Chael Sonnen, he identified Conor as among the rare fighters who fundamentally transformed the entire industry. His blueprint transcended mere competition, incorporating spectacle, charisma, and provocative statements delivered with volume that made ignoring him impossible. This attention converted into bargaining power, which then translated into financial success. Regardless of opinions on his methods, Rogan's message remained crystal clear. For certain fighters, provocative talk becomes strategic business rather than empty posturing, and McGregor mastered this approach completely.
I feel like there's a couple guys who kind of changed the game. One of them was Chael Sonnen, and another one is Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And part of the way they changed the game was talking mad shit and getting a lot of people to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
And
Which, cool, you know? Like, it got them a lot of attention. It got them a lot of money. But, like, and if that's what makes them happy, cool, you know?
Some view it as smart business maneuvering, rather than genuine competition. Khabib unleashed harsh criticism regarding Conor McGregor's attempted return. He maintained that the physical punishment McGregor endured, particularly his leg injuries, creates permanent damage that never fully heals. Factor in several years of diminished motivation, and Khabib considers the situation straightforward. Athletic prime occurs only once during any fighter's career. Beyond that peak, no comeback effort can recreate those glory days. After reaching your ceiling, decline becomes unavoidable.
It's what history shows us. When you take like this damage, you're never gonna be same. Never, ever. Okay, if we talk about Conor, okay, like last couple years he's not hungry. And now what happened with his legs, like never, ever. Never people come back and never gonna be people on the same prime twice. Prime come only one time. You're gonna be on prime.
Khabib connected this directly to the White House card, positioning it as something beyond mere entertainment value. Matching McGregor against someone like Cowboy Cerrone might create exciting highlights and drive ticket sales. But the crucial question remains whether he can still compete against elite competition. Names like Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, or Justin Gaethje represent that top tier. From Khabib's perspective, the White House stage transcends simple spotlight or financial gain. It becomes the ultimate examination of whether McGregor's prime truly ended, or if he retains championship-level capability. He believes this matchup will determine if Conor remains a legitimate threat or merely generates headlines.
You're gonna go down. It depends you fight with who. If you're gonna fight with Cowboy Cerrone, you're gonna look good. You're gonna be like lion. But if you're gonna fight like guys who on the top, who really best in the world, like Dustin Poirier, like this fight gonna show your level, you know? Okay, fight with Cowboy or like these fights, be lion and that's it, make money. This is smart. But if you wanna become champion, if you wanna fight like Beneil, Islam, Charles, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, these guys lions, you know? These guys gonna show your level.
While Khabib doubted McGregor's remaining competitive drive, Conor responds with absolute certainty that his hunger burns stronger than ever before. Leading up to the White House card, he positioned his comeback as transcending typical fight preparation. This represents a deeply personal quest, driven by spiritual conviction and serious self-examination. Passion that originally propelled him hasn't simply returned, but intensified dramatically. Following extended periods of introspection and mental recalibration, McGregor declares he's emerging more precise, determined, and prepared to demonstrate his continued elite status. For him, the White House card represents far more than a promotional event, but serves as the ultimate testing ground for this evolved, unstoppable version of himself.
God that dictates my journey and all of our journeys, and I live my life by God's word. And since around that time that you mentioned at the last event, I've engaged on a spiritual journey, and I'm saved, I am healed. And you know, on the back of that, the world is in for a treat. The world is in for a treat. My competitive spark that was once in my heart is now a roaring blaze. So I'm very excited. You know, I envy these men up here on this dais. They're right about to make weight, and they're to go in and enjoy and entertain and do what they were called to do, as am I called to do it. And you know, I'm eager to get back. And right now I had to dial myself in and go inward, and that I done. And I'm very, very excited to come back my own self.
Expanding on McGregor's declarations of returning sharper and more committed, Chael Sonnen offered additional insight regarding his potential White House card opponent. He characterized a possible clash with Justin Gaethje as practically perfect, representing intelligent matchmaking that benefits both the entertainment value and each fighter's career trajectory. However, Sonnen warned that guarantees disappear once that octagon door locks shut. Even with McGregor's apparent agreement to compete, the actual results will create their own narrative, and genuine validation comes only through proving this supposedly relentless new version can deliver on every bold promise made.
Right? Okay, a special treat in the White House and a special treat in Conor McGregor, which is almost a gift, right? Bread Panty Night is real. That's a gift for somebody. We'll gift this to Justin Gaethje on his way out the door, and he won't mind fighting in a different weight class because he's leaving anyway. He's not coming up the ranks. This is all part of the thought process as to why it's going to be Conor versus Justin Gaethje, but that is also believed that Justin Gaethje was going to lose. Now, you can't say that. When you go in and you start talking about these deals, there's never say, hey, you're going to lose to Patty. So when you lose to Patty, we're going to bump you up a weight class. That won't matter as you're on your way out anyway. Like, you can't say those things. So when he goes in and gets the win, it's very hard to unwind that and go, okay, it's no longer McGregor and Gaethje. They're both going to go. Why? Right? Imagine McGregor that already said yes to Gaethje. He's saying the same thing.
Sonnen then analyzed the complications arising if McGregor jumps directly into championship contention, explaining how moving him to 155 pounds creates questions about title legitimacy while potentially creating organizational headaches. As an alternative solution, he proposed matching him against whoever loses between Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, a bout that could still generate enormous interest and intrigue. This represents a blockbuster fight with serious mainstream appeal, but Sonnen emphasized that the White House card must balance creating excitement with booking fights that make logical sense, both competitively and narratively. Michael Bisping then shared his perspective on potential White House matchups, emphasizing the celebrity status and compelling storylines each brings. He identified Jorge Masvidal as an exceptional opponent for Conor McGregor, citing Masvidal's appearances at Trump rallies and his existing connection to political theater. Bisping compared this to Michael Chandler, whose recent defeats in his natural weight division make him less attractive as an option. Meanwhile, Masvidal's accomplishments from recording the fastest knockout in UFC history to capturing the inaugural BMF championship establish him as a fighter capable of providing both competitive legitimacy and entertainment spectacle against McGregor on a platform as extraordinary as the White House.
Because we've seen on the internet you versus McGregor.
Shit, give them what they want, not what they expect. I could say some big news, and I can't deny or confirm what you just said.
Even Chael Sonnen was talking about it. And as I said, when you look at Jorge Masvidal and the career that he's had, and then you remember Jorge Masvidal has been a massive supporter of Donald Trump, I think he's spoken publicly at rallies for Donald Trump as well. So he's certainly in the good graces of the Trump family, right? And they're the kind of people that they're going to want at the White House. Conor McGregor versus Jorge Masvidal. That'll be a sensational matchup. Michael Chandler, of course, losing to Paddy Pimblett the way that he did. And then, of course, when you look at the majority of fights that he's lost, okay, it doesn't really put him in too good of a standing, okay? And, of course, he's 155. Yeah, he'd come up to 170 to fight McGregor, but he's not a natural 170. And Jorge Masvidal has fought at 155, but also finished his career at 170. He did fight for the belt. He did have the fastest knockout in history. He absolutely destroyed Nate Diaz when he became the first BMF. I mean, if you go back to 2019, that was the coming out.
Furthermore, John Anick contributed a contrasting viewpoint on the White House card, recognizing the excitement surrounding Conor McGregor's return while questioning some of the speculated opponent choices. He argued that a bout with Michael Chandler, despite being patriotic and attention-grabbing, carries minimal significance for the lightweight division and might even occur at a non-standard weight. From Anick's perspective, the genuine excitement comes from potential battles with fighters like Nate Diaz or Mauricio Ruffi, matchups that would truly challenge McGregor's abilities while providing substantial competitive stakes inside the octagon.
Modern young generation of fighters are going to know you for the way you commentate, the way you call plays, the way you are so analytical about fighters. You're amazing at what you do at bringing the whole story to life, and I think it's like one piece of the puzzle that has to be there. Like, we need John Anick, you know, and we've seen you do some other things with the Canelo fight, which was amazing, by the way, which I want to talk about. How much of this chemistry is built off the camera versus on the camera? I'll start with you.
Expanding on Anick's emphasis on significant matchups, Michael Chandler emerged with an unambiguous challenge. He desires Conor McGregor as his opponent, specifically on the White House stage. Chandler referenced McGregor's social media activity, interviews, and promotional videos as evidence that the interest flows both directions. Though he recognized MMA's unpredictable nature and absence of absolute certainties, he emphasized that both fighters share aligned goals with the negotiations moving forward positively. Currently, Chandler maintains intense training focus, preparing to transform this potential matchup into reality the moment UFC provides official approval.
It's no secret. Obviously, I want to fight Conor, and I think it's no secret by the things that he's posting, the interviews that he's doing, the number of times he said my name, posted a video of me and him and our highlights and all that kind of stuff a week or so ago. He wants to fight me. I want to fight him. He wants to fight at the White House. I want nothing more than to be wearing the red, white, and blue stars and bars, walking onto the White House lawn and fighting at the White House. You know how hard it is to put percentages on anything in mixed martial arts. It's such a crazy sport, and that's why we love it. But one thing is for sure, Conor wants to fight me at the White House. I want to fight him at the White House. And conversations are being had. I think things are moving in that direction, but we're never going to know when this thing's going to be announced. So we will see. All I know is I'm going to start training here very soon, like laser focused on June, whatever it is. And they're going to keep holding the cards close to their chest, as they always do, trying to keep things a secret. And we'll see how.
We're eager to hear your opinion on which opponent creates the most compelling matchup for Conor McGregor at the White House card. Should it be Michael Chandler, Jorge Masvidal, Mauricio Ruffi, or perhaps a completely different fighter altogether? Share your perspective in the comments section below and become part of this ongoing discussion. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button to ensure you catch all our fight analysis, expert commentary, and breaking news updates as this groundbreaking card develops.